Hello, my name is Ron Jones. I'm a process improvement specialist with Advanced Solutions. Today I'm going to be talking about the Bolted Connection Design Accelerator. What this tool allows us to do is to not only create holes in components that maybe didn't have holes before, but allows us to place those bolts, nuts, and washers inside of our assemblies as needed. It's a very powerful tool that allows us to create data quite quickly and start bolting this stuff together in just a couple of clicks as opposed to the old method of placing and constraining parts. And this pulls from the content center as well. So if we have a custom content center, or we're just using the default content center, that's where it's going to pull that data from. So just starting, once we hit the bolted connection tool, it's going to bring up the bolted connection component generator. We have a couple of different options here right off the bat to the left. We have a through type connection or a blind hole. So for the purpose of this demo, we're going to use the through hole type. We also have the ability to place holes linearly. So if we want to define that actual dimension, and maybe there's not an existing hole to reference, maybe we're making this bolt pattern kind of as we go, we can use the linear command. For the purpose of this demo, we're going to use concentric, and we're going to pick a start plane, our then existing hole, and now what it's going to ask us is, do we want to follow the pattern around this flange right here? So I'm going to click yes, and then for termination, I'm going to go ahead and select this face back here. So now it's going to ask us what diameter of screw do we want, and I'm going to say we want to use a 3/8 screw. Now we need to add some fasteners to this, so I'm going to click add fastener. This is now going to start loading our content center data. So now we can just go in and select what type of bolt we want. We want a hex head bolt, just for standard inch, and we can see that it now starts populating that. So now if we want to add a washer to this, it's just as simple as going in here and selecting a circular washer. And now what we'll go ahead and do is downstream we're going to put a lock washer, and then we'll finish that off with a just regular hex nut. So what we have the ability to do is we can save this template so that every time, just hit adding template, every time it's going to use this hardware right here in our templates library. So if we're going to use the same type of components throughout our assembly, we can just make a template for this, and then it's just a couple of clicks and we're reusing that data. The other thing we have the ability to do is we can do calculations off of our bolt diameters as well as the number of bolts that we have. So for instance, here we've got 8 bolts and a maximum axial force of, say, 1050 newtons. Let's say we've got a maximum tangential force of 750 newtons. So it's going to do our calculation. It's going to ask us for the bolt type that we're using. We're going to select that one right here. So that's our bolt material. And then we'll just hit calculate. And it looks like we're good for this one. So we also have the ability to do fatigue calculations as well. What this tool allows us to do is we can check to see that we have our compliance without going to a secondary program. We can do all of this inside of Inventor. So now that I know this is okay, I'm going to hit apply. It's going to create that bolted connection subassembly. We can see that Inventor is now working to populate this with the necessary bolts. Click out of our design accelerator and we come in here and we can see that our bolted connection has been placed. So that is bolted connections. Thank you for your time. Look forward to speaking with you soon.